What's going on, folks? Elijah here, doing my usual Monday morning commute home from work. And I guess today I want to talk about mental health. Try to do like a mental health Monday episode or something on my blog, because I feel like it's something that a lot of people right now are, struggling with, and we're kind of in a time where people are finally trying to actually deal with their mental health in a constructive fashion. Rather than the usual self-destructive fashion, which, that was me. I know a lot of us, use drugs and alcohol and women or whatever it may be in an attempt to try to deal with our, mental health issues, whatever it may be. And I guess because, today, even though I'm on antidepressants, which I'm glad I am, today I was kind of feeling just a little bit down today. But, it's okay to still feel down. We all feel down from time to time. And I actually feel pretty good now that I got out of work. But, it's a very trying time during this COVID-19 pandemic. And just dealing with all the different things that are going on, both in our own personal lives and, nationally and globally. So, I mean, it's really something... these things are, it is a tough time right now. But I know that for me, talking about it and just kind of venting, and also just kind of recognizing how I'm feeling from day to day, and just kind of trying to deal with it in a positive way, There's no one thing that's going to be a cure-all for keep your mental health good, but talking about it and acknowledging it is definitely one of those things that can definitely put you, at least hopefully keep you back on the right path, keep you going whenever you do feel down, because you're still going to have your lives up and downs and stuff. And I think sometimes you really got to kind of ask yourself, all how good you actually have it, and here in LA, it's rough out, like that guy there, he's got all this stuff in his bag, and it does get depressing, seeing all the people that are down and out. I seen a young man the other day. He was doing the dope fiend shuffle, and he was just, this guy probably 20, but he was dirty, and he was homeless, obviously, had his blanket with him, and it was kind of, that type of stuff. It kind of gets you, it kind of makes you disheartening. And that's not to say that I didn't have a good weekend, and I did have a really good weekend. Got to go get some tacos from this Taco San Marcos place that has these amazing tacos, and this broth that you dip them in is absolutely amazing up in Van Nuys. I would say check them out. Got a good bike ride in yesterday. Got an oil change on the bike, but today coming in, I just kind of felt kind of down, and it's kind of had a dreary day today. Dealing with the COVID idiots at work and all that mess. Still, luckily things seem to have, the urgent care I go by every day. There actually wasn't a line out there today this morning, so it's kind of a good sign that at least here in Los Angeles, we might be actually turning things around. People are taking it seriously enough, and, trying to help limit the spread of COVID-19 to one another. So that's kind of encouraging. But last week was kind of a rough week, and I just kind of felt today like, man, am I really in? You get that thing where you're just wondering, like, man, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right job for me? Am I living the right life that I should be living? Am I living my best life, as they say so much nowadays? But it's easy to kind of feel down and kind of feel sorry for yourself. But I really try not to do that. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Try to think about the things that you do got going for you, because a lot of people really got it bad, man. And you live in a city like Los Angeles, or really anywhere, you really see how bad a lot of other people have it, man, or the real adversity that they go through Me personally, I may not be rich and famous, but I've had a pretty good life of privilege. I'm only 36. I got a lot more stuff I want to do, but I have friends, buddies I went to school with, they dead and gone, man. I've had some good friends, they dead and gone already. School buddies, they got shot and killed or whatever. Went to prison. That people that they went to, childhood, they went to prison. They ain't gonna be there. I got friends, they're, especially right now, we're all in our mid 30s. They're, recovering, or they're trying to recover from drugs and alcohol abuse. People got broken marriages and estranged from the kids and whatnot. So I really kind of consider myself, it's easy to, like I said, it's easy to get down on yourself, but when I really actually sit around and think about it, my life is actually pretty great compared to a lot of people's, and especially right now in this COVID crisis. I've been blessed to be able to work full time. And not have had to worry about my income decreasing as of yet. That can change day by day. I've been lucky I could pay my rent, every month. In this crisis, a lot of people can't. So pay my bills and stuff, and pay my insurance, and keep gas in the K-Pipe, and just kind of not really be as affected. I've had I had a little health crisis, both for physical health and, my mental health. But I'm glad I finally did something, especially about my mental health, because I really feel like I was, looking back, I'm kind of like, man, I was really suffering there for a good, probably a good 5 or 6 years where I was really, really kind of suffering. And I kind of basically created my own prison, which, I've been watching, was it Big Hurt, and his kind of Fresh Out series on YouTube. And it's good to watch stuff like that, because, stuff like that made me kind of realize, like, you don't have to be in a cell to have a prison for your mind. And it's easy to create a prison of your own mind for yourself. And it can be really hard without help to free yourself from the prisons that you make for yourself, especially when it comes to your mental health. And I really was, I really just walled myself in, and kind of just consigned myself to just not really doing much, honestly. My motorcycle was broken down, and I could have fixed it a while ago, but I just wouldn't do it. There's a whole bunch of stuff I just wouldn't do. Just playing video games all the time. Not that I don't like playing video games, but since I've started antidepressants, I've noticed that's one thing I actually, and fixed my motorcycle. I haven't really been playing any video games at all, like in a couple months. I might have played once, but I just haven't set aside the time to do it. When I was playing, for hours and hours a day. But that's kind of how I know, like, I had to do something, that I needed help. I needed to, start medication. In my case, maybe you won't have to start medication. And it is, it can be a tricky thing, especially for people of color, because, a lot of doctors, they want to put you into a certain category. They want you to be schizophrenic, so they can take away, your rights and privileges, and say, you're a bad black guy who's crazy, a bad brown guy who's crazy, or a brown woman, and so I had a lot of that fear, and I think it's also too, sort of, you don't want to disappoint people, you don't want people to think you're weak, and hey, there's people that, they're gonna think you're weak, whatever, they can't whoop me, I don't really care, they couldn't go through the stuff I've gone through, and they could never go to the places I've gone, because they're actually weak, and they're just trying to, make themselves feel good, make their ego feel big, because, they've gotten down on somebody else, but, at the end of the day, they may be not very happy in their side, and they can try to, a lot of people try to use material things, and, how much they make, and, who they're dating, and, how good their date looks or their mate looks or whatever, but sooner or later they gonna look messed up. I mean, that's just the reality. And if they don't, ain't got no substance, that's just a lot of people right now. I was reading, divorces are up, way up right now during the COVID crisis, because a lot of people, they stuck at home with their spouse now, and they like, man, I hate this mofo. I can't stand him. Like, why would I ever date somebody like that? It's just like, why'd I even date you? Like, you don't even look good no more. You're a jerk. There's men and women, realizing that right now, that, a person they dating is just a freaking piece of crap. Honestly, and it's time to move on. And I think that's kind of, as we go through our lives, you kind of got to realize, sometimes that, it's time to move on. I've been saying it since the beginning of 2020, before it was, this pandemic and all this craziness going on, Karen crisis, racism crisis, that 2020 is the end of things, y'all, and it's a time of, you got to be ready to move on. This idiot in the bin, Jesus Christ, pass somebody, go for it. You got to move on, and 2020 is the end of things. It's the end of people's lives, literally, and also figuratively. And it's also the end of a lot of bull crap too. I think a lot of people are just fed up with a lot of bull crap. People have had the time to kind of sit and think about a lot of the bull crap they've had to put up with, and other people have had to put up with, and really kind of just reassess their place in life and realign themselves. And that's kind of where I feel like I'm at in 2020 myself. It's kind of time to realign and re-up. I've had time to recharge the batteries, kind of affirm some of the things that, affirm some of the notions I already had, kind of floating around up in my pea brain, and I really feel like they've kind of manifest, and I really kind of feel like maybe some of the environments that I'm in, it may be time to change those environments, because they aren't, I'm not growing in them. I feel like if you're not growing in something, you're just spinning your wheels. It doesn't mean you have to be advancing or getting promoted or whatever, but I always like to be learning something new, doing something new, trying to be my best self. It's one of the reasons I love living in Los Angeles. Everybody's trying to do their best usually, even if it's at fast food or whatever. And doing a good job is really important to people in Los Angeles. That kind of selflessness. Even though there's a lot of selfish people too, but people want to do a good job generally, and that's something that's really important to people. Take care of your mental health, guys. Don't bottle it all up inside. Hey, you might need meds, especially during these times. I think Michelle Obama was talking about it. She's had low-grade depression during these times. It's difficult. It's tough. I don't care who you are. If you're a tough guy or a weak guy, whatever. It's one of those years, y'all. It's 2020. It's a doozy, and that's just kind of the way it is. Go get me something else. But it is. It's really easy to stay down, and eventually you got to do something. You have to take action to alleviate your issues. You want to be like the COVID-idiots down at the motorcycle idiots down at Sturgis. Give the reason why we always the bad guys in movies. Those guys. They got no helmets on. They don't wear no masks. But I'm pretty sure when they dying, they gonna be crying. Dying from COVID, it's a face down. Adult diaper on, they don't even let you get out of bed. You boo-booing on yourself, peeing on yourself, while you cough yourself to death. And that's not exactly, that ain't a gangster way to go out, y'all. It's just not. So, and that's just a sign of, they're trying to act hard, but they're actually, they're being pretty weak mentally. Their mental toughness really isn't that good. And just saying you're tough, it really is not going to help you. It's like young guys, walking around with a gun and shoot somebody, and then they end up in prison. They can't fight, and they go to prison and they get their ass whooped every day. Because in prison nobody cares about how many people you shot, because there's no guns in there. So really implore you guys, take care of your mental health. Talk about it with somebody. Get on the meds if you need to. You might need to get on meds. It happens to the best of us, as they say. And it's it can be tough to reach out. I already definitely found myself struggling to do that. But now I did. My life is definitely a lot better day to day and week to week, and a lot more focused. I feel I'm ready to kind of take hold of and getting back in shape, and like I said, fix my bike, and just been enjoying life a whole lot more than I was. And before I was kind of just pretending, dog. I mean, you see all these tents out here. I could be out here with these guys. They out here every day, and they're gonna be out here probably for decades. I could be out here tomorrow, really. So that's why I say, you really got to kind of, like I said, count your blessings. I'm not religious, but you can still be blessed, even if you're not religious. And you still might have a lot of things going for you that other people don't have anything going for them at all. And that's just kind of, that's the real deal, man. Don't listen to these, as I said, don't listen to these micro idiots out here who, they try to be a tough guy on the outside, but they're inside, they're hurting, and they're not doing well, man. So that's all today for today, guys. Mental Health Monday. Hope you guys are riding safe out there. Being safe from the COVID. Wear your mask. Protect other people. Don't be selfish. Don't be a COVID idiot. And I will talk to you guys next time. All right, y'all.